Okay, so let's start this session. So welcome everyone to our second session of Tirthankar Jeevan Charitra, or the life stories of 24 Tirthankar Paramatma. So let's start with the Naukar mantra. Namo Harihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Eso Panchanamukaro, Sava Pava Parasano, Manglarancha Savvesim, Paramam Havai Mangalam. So let's start with our second class of Tirthankar Jeevan Charitra. So in the last class, we saw the first three bhavs of Bhagwan Rishabhdev, and we also saw some of the concepts of the card chakra. So we saw that the time has no beginning or no end, and this time is divided into equal time periods, and we called this time period as card chakras. So each card chakra we saw is 20 Kodakuri Sagarupam. And each of this card chakra is further divided into two equal halves. And each half is known as Utsarpini and Avsarpini. And each of this Utsarpini and Avsarpini is 10 Kodakuri Sagarupams. And we saw that each of these card chakras, each of these Utsarpini and Avsarpini is further divided into 6 aras. And these 6 aras are of unequal time periods. And currently we are in the 5th ara of Avsarpini. So Avsarpini, the 5th ara is 21,000 years, and 2,600 years has passed in this 5th ara, and another 18,300 years are still left in the 5th ara. So in the 5th ara, with the end of 5th ara, our Jain Dharma, our Shaman Dharma will come to an end, and it will be eliminated or destroyed, and the 6th tara of Dukkham will begin. And the 6th tara is also another 21,000 years. And after the end of 6th tara, it will be the end of Avsarpini, and the other half of the card chakra, that is Utsarpini, will begin, and it will again begin with the 6th tara. So 6th tara will be repeating twice. It will be 21,000 years plus another 21,000 years. So we saw in the last class that each of these Utsarpini and Avsarpini has 63 Mahapurush, also known as Shalaka Purush, that are born in each of Utsarpini and each Avsarpini. And our Shastra, that is called Trishashti Shalaka Purush Charitra, describes the life stories of all these 63 Mahapurush. And this Shastra is written by Kalikal Sarvagnya Hemchandracharya in the 12th century. This Shastra, Trisashti Salaka Purush Charitra, is a poetic Shastra. It is a Kavya, and it is considered as one of the greatest creations of Kalikal Sarvagna Hemchandracharya. So we saw in our last class that these 63 Mahapurush are 24 are Tirthankars, there are 12 Chakravartis, 9 Vasudevs, 9 Prativasudevs, and 9 Bardevs. And we were seeing the life story of the 24 Tirthankars, and we are seeing the life story of the first Tirthankar Paramatma, that is Rishabhdev. So in this class, I would like to talk about the Jain geography, or what we call as a structure of our universe. So the structure of the Chaud Rajlok, the 14 Rajlok is basically called our universe, is described in a great details in various agams and various upangs. So there is an agam called Surya Pragnapti, Chandra Pragnapti, and Jambudvip Pragnapti. So Surya Pragnapti and Chandra Pragnapti, they give all the calculations, the astronomical calculations as well as astrological calculations, with sun and moon as a reference, and they calculate the relative motions and positions of all the planets. The Jambudvip Pragnapti gives the geography of the Adidvip or the Jambudvip, and it also gives the life stories of Rishabhdev Bhagwan and Bharat Chakravarti. There are various other sastras that describes the structure of the Jain universe. These are Trilok Sar, Lok Sar, Trilok Pragnapti, Tatvat Sutra, Kshetra Samaj, Bruhat Sangrani. There are lots of sastras. I have named only few. So these are some of the agams, upangs, and sastras that are currently available in our Jain Sastra that describes the Jain geography. So in this class, let's see the structure of the Chaud Rajlok. And in this class, we'll talk about the structure of the Urdhvalok. So the Chaud Rajlok is divided into three sections. Okay. So the topmost, so Chaud Rajlok has three sections. The topmost section is called Urdhvalok. The Urdhvalok is where there is Siddha and all the Devloks. Then the central part is the Madhya Lok. The Madhya Lok is where we live. It's where all the Tiryanch Jews and all the Manusha Jews, they live. The Madhya Lok is very important because all the 63 Salaka Purush, they are all born in the Madhya Lok. And then the last part is Adholok. Adholok is where there is the all the 7 Naraks. So the height of the whole universe or the whole Lokakas is 14 Rajus. The height of Urdhvalok is 7 Rajus. The height of Adholok is also 7 Rajus. And height of Madhyalok is 1800 yojans. It's 900 yojans above the surface and 900 yojans below the surface. And the name of the surface in the Shastra, it's called Swayam Bhutal Bhumi. So the whole from the top to bottom, the complete height is Chaud Rajju. We will see what is one Rajju. So in the central of this Chaud Rajlok, there is a Nadi. It is known as Thrust Nadi. This Thrust Nadi runs from the top of the Chaud Rajlok to the bottom of the Chaud Rajlok. And the width of this Thrust Nadi is 1 Rajju. So what is Thrust Nadi? Thrust Nadi is where all the thrust jeevs can exist. So outside the Thrust Nadi, the thrust jeev cannot exist. So thrust jeevs are all the mobile jeevs, the jeevs who can make motion according to their own will. So all the Beindriya, Tendriya, Chaurindriya, and Panchindriya jeevs are known as thrust jeevs. So all these jeevs can only exist in the Thrust Nadi. They cannot exist outside the Thrust Nadi. So outside the Thrust Nadi, it's all Sthavar, Ekindriya jeevs and the jeevs of Nigod. So this is a basic structure of our Chaud Rajlok. So here is a picture of the Chaud Rajlok given in our Agam known as Surya Pragnapti. So the picture of the shape of the Chaud Rajlok is like a man. It's standing with the legs stretched with the hands on the waist. And this is known as Lok Purush in our Shastra. So the forehead of this man is where there is Siddha, where there is all the Jew who are going to moksha. It represents the forehead of the man. Then the head, the neck, and the chest of the man, it represents all the Devloks, that is Urdhvalok. The legs of the man, they represent all the 7 Narkavash. And the central part is the Madhyalok. The Madhyalok is the smallest part and it is shape of a disc. So Madhyalok is very, very important for us because this is the place from where you can go to moksha. So you can only go to moksha from Madhyalok. You cannot go to moksha from Devlok and you cannot go to moksha from Narak. You have to be born in the Madhyalok in order to go to moksha. So all the 63 Salaka Purush, they are all born in this Madhyalok. So let's see some of the units of measurement given in our Jain Shastras. So one dhanush is a distance of 4 feet. Now in some Shastras, it says 5 feet or 6 feet, but for our consideration, let's say it is 4 feet. 4 feet. So 2000 dhanush is 1 kosh and 4 kosh is 1 yojan. So 1 yojan roughly comes to around 9 miles or around 12 or 13 kilometers. So that is 1 yojan. And this 1 yojan distance is very, very important to remember because in our Shastra, you will come across this 1 yojan distance at lots of places.
Yes. You should watch this. This is real. Now that is, we don't know, but this is something unimaginable, but really it has happened.
So can you mute? Okay, thank you. So, so 1 yojan is very, very important distance. So for example, our Samosaran, where the Bhagwan gives Deshna, the diameter of the Samosaran is 1 yojan for Bhagwan Mahavir. So this 1 yojan distance you will come across at several places in the Shastra, and you have to remember it's close to 9 miles. So what is 1 Rajju distance? So 1 Rajju distance in Shastra, there are a couple of definitions. And the first definition is a Dev, if a Dev flies for a period of 6 months at a speed of 20 lakhs 57,152 yojans every samay. Now, one samay is a very, very small time, and there are countless samays in 1 second. So, if a dev flies at such a high speed, every samay, the distance he travels, if he flies for 6 months, is known as one raju. So, for our thinking, just consider as a countless miles or countless kilometers is one raju. There is another definition given in the Shastra. It says that if a Indra Devta, he throws a thousand kg ball, iron ball, uh, with a full force. If this iron ball is falling, and the time it takes, if it travels for 6 months, the distance it covers is one rajju. So these are the couple of definitions. For our sake, we can just say one rajju is a distance that is countless, or it is a very, very large distance. So in this class, I would like to talk about the Devlok. So in our Shastra, Jeev Vichar, I don't know if some of you have read or not, but Jeev Vichar, there are 535 classifications of Panchindriya Jeevs. Okay, there are 14 classifications of Narak, 20 classifications of Tiryansh, 303 classifications of Manushya, and 198 classifications of Dev. So, so in this class, we are just going to talk about the 198 classifications of the Devs in the Devlok. So what are 198 types of Devs? So there are 38 types of Devs in the Urdhvalok. There are 36 types of Devs in the Madhya Lok where we live. And there are 25 types of Dev in the Adholok. So 38 plus 36 plus 25, there are 99 types of Devs. So in this class, we'll just talk about the Devs in the Urdhvalok. In the next class, we'll talk about the Devs in the Madhya Lok and Adholok. So in the Urdhvalok, there are 38 types of Devs, and there are 12 Vaimanik Devs, 3 types of Kilbishak Devs, 9 Gravyak Devs, 5 Anuttar Devs, and 9 Lokantik Devs. And we'll see in details who are these Devs. So in the Urdhvalok, we have got 38 types of Devs, and these Devs are also known as Vaimanik Devs. Now total, there are 99 types of Devs, and these Devs can be both Paryapt and Aparyapt. Now we'll talk about what is Paryapti and Aparyapti in our next class. But to understand a small concept is when Dev takes Janma, for the first 48 minutes, for the first Antarmurat, they are all Aparyapt. That means they are making their body, their Indriya, their mind and everything. So there are 6 types of Paryaptis that Dev completes in 48 minutes. And after 48 minutes, they are known as Paryapt. So by default, all the Devs, they are Paryapt. They do not die in the Aparyapt avastha. So like humans, like Manushya or Tiryansh, we can die in the Aparyapt avastha, but Devlok ka Dev, they do not die in the Aparyapt avastha, because the minimum Ayushya of Dev is 10,000 years. So all the Dev for the first 48 minutes when they are born, they are Aparyapt, and after Antarmurat, they become Paryapt. So there are 99 types of Devs, and 99 types of multiply by 2, there are total 198 types of Devs. So in this class, we'll just talk about the Devs that are in the Urdhvalok. Those are known as Vaimanik Devs. So Vaimanik Devs, they are further classified into 2 types. There are 24 types of Devs. They are known as Kalpopanna Devs, and 14 types of Devs. They are known as Kalpatit Devs. So let's see what are Kalpopanna Devs and what are Kalpatit Devs. So let's see the Urdhvalok. The Urdhvalok consists of 4 things. The top of the Urdhvalok is Siddhasila, and just below the Siddhasila are the 5 Devloks known as Anuttar Viman. And below the 5 Anuttar Viman, there are 9 Gravyaks, Devloks, and below the 9 Gravyak Devloks, there are 12 Vaimanik Devloks. So these are the 4 things that are in the Urdhvalok. So top is Siddhasila, below Siddhasila is 5 Anuttar Viman, below 5 Anuttar Viman is 9 Gravyaks, and below 9 Gravyaks is 12 Vaimanik Devloks. So first let's see the Siddha. So Siddha is in the shape of a disc. So and the diameter of the Siddha is 45 lakh yojans. So diameter of the Siddha is 45 lakh yojans, and the thickness of the Siddha at the central part is 8 yojans. And this thickness, it keeps on decreasing and it becomes extremely thin, less than an angul at the periphery. Now this Siddha is 12 yojans above the Sarva Siddha Viman, that are the Panch Anuttar Viman. So Siddha is located 12 yojans above the Sarva Siddha Viman. Now above the Siddha there are three layers of air that are known as Vat Valley. So the first layer of air is extremely thick. It is 4000 Dhanusya. The second layer of air is 2000 Dhanusya. And the third layer of air is 1575 Dhanusya thick. And the density of air goes on decreasing with the each Vat Valley. So maximum height of the Siddha Parameshti, it is also known as Avghana in the Shastra, it is 525 Dhanush. And the minimum height of the Siddha Paramatma is 3.5 feet or 3.5 hands. So whenever an Atma goes to moksha, they are in the topmost valley of the Siddha or topmost air layer, that is 1575 Dhanusha thick. So they reside on the topmost air valley or the Vat valley, touching the Agra Bhag or the topmost Bhag of the Lokakas. So that's where all the Siddha Parameshti are located. So below the Siddha there are five Anuttar Vimans. These are Vijay, Vijayant, Jayant, Aparajit, and Sarva Siddha Viman. Now these five Vimans, they are independent Vimans, and only Bhavya Jeev can go to this Viman, and that too only Jeevs who have achieved Samyak Darshan, that is the fourth Gunasthanak, can go to this Viman. So all the Atma who are going to this Viman, they achieve moksha, the next bhav. So Bhagwan Rishabhdev, just before becoming Tirthankar, he was in the Sarva Siddha Viman. So this is their second last bhav, and after this bhav, all the Atma in this Viman, they achieve moksha. So you have to be a Bhavya Jeev and a Samyak Drashti Jeev to go to this Viman. So currently from the fifth ara, we are unable to go to this Panch Anuttar Viman. We can only go to the Char Vaimanik Devloks. So below the Panch Anuttar Viman are the 9 Gravyek Devloks. Now these 9 Gravyek Devloks, both Bhavya and Abhavya Atma can go to this nine Gravyek Devloks. And these nine Gravyek Devloks are Sudarshan, Supratibad, Manoram, Sarvatobhadra, Suvishal, Sumanas, Sumanashya, Priyankar, and Nandikar. So these are the names of 9 Gravyek Devloks. So Gravyek in Sanskrit, it means neck. And that's why in these 9 devloks, they are located on the neck of the Lok Purush, and that's why they are known as Gravyak. So the devs that are in this 5 Anuttar Vimans and 9 Gravyak devloks are known as Kalpati Devs. So what are Kalpati Devs and what are Kalpopanna Devs? So Kalpati Devs, it means independent Devatas. It means that this Devata, they do not have any relationship or contact with the another Devata or another subordinates in that Viman. They are all independent and they have got their own independent dwellings. So here in Panch Anuttar and 9 Gravyaks, they do not have family structure. They do not have social structure. They do not have political system or Rajya Vyavastha. They are all independent, and they are Indra of themselves, and that's why they are known as Aham Indra. So in Shastra, when we are looking at the Charitra, you will come across this term known as Aham Indra. Aham Indra means they are Indra of themselves, and these 14 types of Devatas are known as Kalpati Devatas. And now all the other Devatas, that is Devatas or 12 Vaimanik Devloks, the Devatas of Bhuvanpati, Devatas of Vyantar, Jyotish Devatas, and all the other Devatas are known as Kalpopanna Devatas. So Kalpopanna Devatas are the Devatas where they have a structure like us. They have a king that is known as Indra. They have got assembly, they have got ministers, Those are known as shamanic devatas. And then they have got Atma Rakshak devatas. They have got devatas that take care of the cities, lokpals, and various others. So they have got the political structure, they have got Rajya Vyavastha, they have got family structure, and they have got social structure. So all those devatas are known as Kalpopanna devatas. So the Panch Anuttar and 9 Graviks, they are all Kalpati Devatas, they are independent Devatas. And below that, that are all the Devatas are Kalpopanna Devatas. So Kalpopanna Devatas are 24 types. There are 12 types of Devatas of the Vaimanik Devlok, 9 types of Devatas known as Lokantik Devatas, and 3 types of Devatas known as Kilbishak Devatas. Now we will see what are these 24 types of Devs. So just below the 9 Gravyak, there are 12 Vaimanik Devloks. These 12 Vaimanik Devloks are Sudharma, Ishan, Sanat Kumar, Mahendra, Brahmalok, Lantak, Mahasukra, Sahasrar, Anat, Pranat, Aran, and Achyutya. So these are the names of 12 Vaimanik Devloks. Now from this Bharat Kshetra, from this fifth ara, we can only go to the first 4 Devloks. That means we can only go up till the Mahendra Devlok. We cannot go beyond the 4th Devlok.
Why can we go to the fifth one?
Let's do the question answers after. Okay, we'll come to the question answers after our session. Okay. So so in the Urdhvalok, let's understand the structure of the Urdhvalok. So if you look at the height of the Urdhvalok is 7 Rajjus. So in the first Rajju, you will see there is a Siddhasila and there is a Panch Anuttar and 9 Gravyak Devloks in the first one Raj height. Now in the second Raj height, you have got four Vaimanik Devloks, that is 9, 10, 11, and 12. In the third Rajju height, you have got 3 Devloks, that is 6, 7, and 8. Now in the fourth Rajju, you have got a dwellings for Kilbishak Devatas, and then you have got the 5th Vaimanik Devloks, and then you have also got a dwellings for 9 Lokantik Devatas. Now we will come across what are Kilbishak Devatas, what are Lokantik Devatas shortly. In the 5th Rajju, there are 2 Devloks, 3 and 4. And the 6th Rajju, there are again 2 Devloks, Devlok 1 and Devlok 2. And there is also a dwelling for Kilbishak Devatas. And just below the first and second Vaimanik Devlos, there is another dwelling for Kilbishak Devatas. So in total, there are 3 places or 3 dwellings where the Kilbishak Devatas live. And there is 1 dwellings for 9 Lokantik Devatas. Okay, so let's see what are Lokantik Devatas and what are Kilbishak Devatas. So there are 9 types of Lokantik Devatas. These are Saraswat, Aditya, Vahit, Arun, Gardnoya, Trushit, Avyabad, Marut, and Arishta. So Lokantik Devatas, they are Param Bhakt of Tirthankar Paramatma. And they all the Jeeves who are Bhavya and Samyak Drashti can only become Lokantik Devata. So for Lokantik Devata, like Panch Anuttar Viman, this is their last bhav. And the next bhav, all the Lokantik Devata, they go to Moksha. So that's why they are known as Lokantik. Jiska lok ka ant aane wala ho, usko Lokantik kehte hai. So these are the Lokantik Devatas, and you need to be a Samyak Drashti Jeev to go to the Lokantik Devatas. Now these Lokantik Devatas, they are Param Bhakt and they love the Tirthankar Paramatma. So that means they help the Tirthankar Paramatma with the Varshidan. When Bhagwan is doing Varshidan, before taking Diksha, these Lokantik Devatas and come to help the Bhagwan. They come during all the 5 Kalyanaks of Tirthankar Paramatma, and they also come to request the Tirthankar Paramatma to take Diksha. So using their Avdignan, they see the time is right for Tirthankar Paramatma to take Diksha. So they come and request the Tirthankar Paramatma to take Diksha. So this is a karya of the Lokantik Devatas. Now, other types of Devatas are Kilbishak Devatas. Now, Kilbishak Devatas, there are three places where they live. As we saw, there is a place below the 6th Devlok, there is a place above 1st and 2nd Devlok, and there's a place just above Madhya Lok, just below 1st and 2nd Devlok. So these are the 3 places where there are Kilbishak Devatas. Now, Kilbishak Devsha, they are servants. They do all menial work. They help all the Vaimanic Devloks. So they do scavenging work, or they work as a servants for all the other Devatas. So these are Kilbeshak Devatas. So there are 9 types of Lokantik Devatas and 3 types of Kilbeshak Devatas. Okay, so this is some general information on the Devatas of the Vaimanik and the Urdhvalok. Now let's see the height of the Devatas. So Devatas are relatively small height. The maximum height of all the Devatas is 7 feet. So height of Bhuvanpati, Vyantar, Jyotish and the first and second Devlok is 7 feet. And this height goes on decreasing. The height of say 9 Gravyaks is just 2 feet, and the height of the Panch Anuttar is just 1 feet. So height goes on decreasing as you go up in the towards the moksha. So let's see the Ayushya of the Devatas. The minimum Ayushya of all Devatas can be 10,000 years. So that means all the Devatas are Paryapt. They complete all the Paryaptis. So for the Vaimanik Devloks, the minimum Ayushya is 1 Palyopam and the maximum Ayushya is 33 Sagaropams. So for the Panch Anuttar Viman, the maximum Ayushya, they mostly have Ayushya of 33 Sagaropams. For the 9 Gravyaks, they have Ayushya of 27 Sagaropams, and this Ayushya goes on decreasing. And the Ayushya of the first Devlok is 2 Sagaropam. Again, this is a maximum Ayushya. The minimum Ayushya is 1 Palyopam. So they can acquire any Ayushya between 1 Palyopam and 33 Sagaropams. Okay. So this is the general information on the Devatas. Just to revise or reiterate, the Devatas are of 2 types. There is Kalpati Devatas and Kalpopanna Devatas. The Devatas that are independent in the Panch Anuttar and 9 Gravyaks are known as Kalpati Devatas, and all other Devatas are known as Kalpopanna Devatas. And we saw various types of Devatas in the Vaimanik Devlok. And total, there are 99 types of Devatas, and 99 are Paryapt, 99 are Aparyapt, and total 198 types of Devatas. So this is something I wanted to cover this session, so you can understand the Tirthankar Charitra in much better way. So now we'll start with the next 3 bhavs of Rishabhdev. So in the last class, we saw the first 3 bhav of the Rishabhdev Bhagwan. In the first bhav, we saw that he was a Dhanna Sarthva. He was a merchant. He was a businessman, and in this bhav, he achieved Samyak Darshan. So he was doing a Supatradan in a very Subh bhav, and during that he did Granthi Bhed and he achieved Samyak Darshan. So this is the first bhav that usually the Tirthankar Charitra starts for all the Tirthankars. So first bhav was Dhanna Sarthva, and in this bhav he also took the 12 vrats of Shravak, and he was a 12 vratdhari Shravak. Then we saw the second bhav was a bhav of Yuglik, and he was born in the Uttarkuru Kshetra of Akarma Bhumi, and in this Bhumi there was a constant first ara, and all the Jeeves who are born in this ara, they go to the Devlok because of their Mand Kashais. So here we saw some of the things about the first ara. We saw that the maximum Ayushya is 3 Palyopams, the height is 6 miles, and everything, all the wishes, they are fulfilled by the Kalpavruksha. And we saw there are 10 types of Kalpavruksha. There are Kalpavruksha that give food, water, musical instruments, the place to live, clothes, everything. So all the wishes are fulfilled by the Kalpavruksha. So after completing the 3 Palyopam Ayushya in this Akarma Bhumi, Rishabhdev Bhagwan's Jeev went to the first Devlok. Now this is the first Vaimanik Devlok that we discussed, that is the Sudharma Devlok. So here he had 2 Sagaropam Ayushya in the first Devlok. So this is where we ended our last session. So now we will discuss and see the 4th bhav of Rishabhdev Bhagwan. Okay. So after completing the 2 Sagaropam Ayushya, Rishabhdev Bhagwan's Jeev, in the 4th bhav, he comes to the Kukshi of Queen Chandrakanta in the western Videsh Kshetra of Mahavidesh Kshetra, and the country is known as Gandhar. His father is a Vidyadhar king and he is a crash jewel of all the Vidyadhars and is known as King Satbal. So his mother's name is Chandrakanta and his father's name is Satbal, and they are Vidyadhar kings. So when Rishabhdev Bhagwan Jeev is born, he is exceedingly strong, and therefore their parents name him as Mahabal. So in this bhav, his name is Mahabal. So when Mahabal grows up, he is highly distinguished, he is skillful in all the arts and vidyas, and at proper time, his parents they marry him to a Vidyadhar queen known as Vinayavati. So now King Sadbal is a dharmish Jew. So one day he starts thinking about the fundamental principles of the universe. He starts thinking that this body is perishable. Even the best and the strongest of body will one day come to an end. And people usually see the impurities outside the body, but they do not see the impurities inside the body. The diseases will come and arrive in this body, and all the body will perish, and all the bodies will come to an end. So he starts thinking about this, and he thinks that this sansar is an endless ocean, and the human birth or the Manushya Bhav is very, very difficult to obtain. It is like a Chintamani Ratna. And that too, Uttam Kur, that is Jain Dharma and Dev Guru Ka Yog, it is almost impossible to get in this sansar. So he thinks that today I'll have to give my kingdom to my son Mahabal, who is now mature, and I'll have to take Diksha and accomplish my Dharma Aradhana. So with this reflections in his mind, he summons his son Mahabal and he sits his son Mahabal to the lion throne. So here King Satbal, he takes Diksha with the Acharya Bhagwan and he starts doing the Dharma Aradhana in the form of Ratnatrayi, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Charitra, and he dies and goes to the Devlok. Here Mahabal, who is now the king of Western Videhe, he is a very, very powerful king and is surrounded by powerful Vidyadhar ministers under his command. Now, unfortunately, Mahabal, he remains deeply engrossed in Bhog and Vilas. So he is surrounded by beautiful women at all the times. He used to pass his time in the sensory pleasures or the pleasures of the Indriya and the pleasures of music, natak, nritya, etc. So unfortunately, Rishabhdev Bhagwan's Jeev is completely engrossed in Bhog and Vilas. So one day, he calls a meeting of all his ministers in the assembly hall. So all the ministers, they come, they do namaskar to the king and they take their seats. So the ministers that include in the assembly hall are ministers known as Swayam Buddha, Sambhatimati, Satmat, and Mahamati. So these are some of the names of the ministers. Now the first minister, known as Swayam Buddha, he is his father's friend and he is a Dharmist Atma. He is a Dharma Aradhak and a Kalyan Mitra of the king. So the minister Swayam Buddha, he thinks that it is wrong to be indifferent to the king, and being indifferent is a very big offense in our Jain Dharma. So my king is deeply engrossed in the sensory pleasures, and uh, and because of this, I have to bring him to the proper Dharma marg and proper Moksha marg. So he says, "Hey king, all the sensory pleasures of this sansar are temporary and they are all nashwant. It's like itching. Whenever you have got itching in the body, you will itch. And when you itch, you will feel good. But after that, you will feel the pain. So similarly, all the pleasures of this sansar are like itching. Initially, you will feel good, but ultimately it will give you durgati, it will give you tiryanch gati or narak. So he says, hey Mahabal, uh, what good is man without a dharma? As tree without a shade, a flower without a scent, an elephant without a tusk, a kingdom without a minister, a night without a moon, and an army without weapons is of no use. Similarly, a man without the dharma is of no good. So without dharma in your life, you will either go to Tiryanj Gati or Narak Gati in the next bhav. So with the Dharma Aradhana, all your pains, all your dukh, all your diseases, calamities will be extinguished not only in this bhav, but also in the next bhav as well. So he says, hey Mahabal, because of the Dharma Aradhana in the previous bhav, you have become a Vidyadhar king in this bhav. So Mahabal says to Swayam Buddha that, hey Swayam Buddha, you have spoken very well. It is right to do Dharma Aradhana and Dharma should be adopted. But I am not hostile to doing Dharma. But you have not told me about the right time to do Dharma. So, so why should I take Dharma Aradhana right now? Why should I give away all my pleasures at this inappropriate time? Then Swayam Buddha ministers with with the folded hands. He says, hey King Mahabal, the fruits of Dharma are inevitable. He says, do you recall that as boys we went to a park called Nandanvan and there we saw a Devta? And that Devta spoke to you, and he said, hey Mahabal, I am Atibal, your great grandfather. And I abandoned the kingdom and adopted the Ratnatrayi and the Panch Mahavrats of the Sadhu at the very last moment of my life. And because of that, because of the Diksha Jeevan, I became a Devta in this bhav. So do not act negligently. And when he spoke to you about this, he suddenly disappeared like a lightning in the sky. So remember your own grandfather's words and believe in the next bhav. Why do you need another proof when a visual evidence in the form of your own grandfather is available? So Mahabal says, hey Swayam Buddha, thank you for reminding me of my great grandfather's words and for a very good purpose. I now believe that my next bhav is dependent on the Dharma Aradhana in this bhav. So Swayam Buddha, he sees that the mind of Mahabal, his king, has changed. So he seizes this opportunity and says, um, hey Mahabal, in your family, a few generations back, there was a king known as Kurukchandra and wife known as Kurumati. And they had a son known as Harishchandra. Now, this king Kurukchandra was your forefather and was deeply engrossed in the worldly pleasures. He enjoyed the bhog and sansaric pleasures 24/7 and day and night. And in the final moment, he became extremely sick. He could not eat, he could not drink, he could not sit, or he cannot sleep. And he went to Durgati. Um, and his son, known as Harishchandra, he saw his father's painful death and therefore he adopted Dharma Aradhana and he used to constantly do the Dharma Aradhana. So Harishchandra was being taught the Dharma by a minister known as Subuddhi. And this Subuddhi was my forefather. So Harishchandra was your forefather and Subuddhi was my forefather. So one day a Kevalgnani Bhagwant comes to a town known as Silandhara. And both Harishchandra and Subuddhi, they go to the listen to the Deshna of the Bhagwant. And after listening to Deshna, Harishchandra asked Bhagwant that where did my father go? To this, Kevalgnani Bhagwant replies that your father went to the seventh Narak. So hearing this, both Raja Harishchandra and Minister Subuddhi gets Vairagya and they both renounce the world and take the Diksha. That another, in your family, there was another king known as Dandak. And he was also very cruel and he was deeply affectionate for his wife and son and also for gold and money. So when this king Dandak died, he became a python protecting the treasure. So he will kill anyone who will come near the treasure because of the Pura Bhav Sanskar. So one day he sees his son Mahamalin entering the treasure room and recognizes that is his son, and the python becomes quiet and affectionate. So seeing this, Mahamalin realizes that this must be in some relation from my previous birth. Through the Acharya Bhagwan, he came to know that this snake is my father. So Mahamalin also takes Diksha. So both Harishchandra and Mahamalin were your forefathers and Subuddhi was my forefather. And because of this inherited affection between our families, I urge you to do Dharma Aradhana. So Swayam Buddha says to Mahabal that today I went to Nandanvan and went and met a Vidyadhar Muni. And I asked the Vidyadhar Muni that how long are you going to live? And the Vidyadhar Muni says that you are only going to live for 1 month. So, hey King Mahabal, only 1 month of Ayushya is left. So this is the right time. This is the opportunate time for you to do the Dharma Aradhana. So King Mahabal says, hey Swayam Buddha, You are a treasure house of knowledge and wisdom. You alone are my friend. You do not only care of my well-being, but you also care of my Atma. You have waked me up to overcome my worldly pleasures. So tell me, what should I do? I have got so little time left. How can I dig a well when the fire is right behind me? So Swayam Buddha says, "Hey king, do not be despaired. Even one day of Sanyam Jeevan or one day of Sadhu Jeevan will give you Devgati in the next bhav. So please take Diksha and please take the Panch Mahavrats." So here King Mahabal agrees and installs his son to the lion throne. And he gives dan to all the poor people. He does puja in all the derasars. He begs forgiveness to everyone and takes diksha. And immediately after taking diksha, he becomes completely detached with a jwalant vairagya. And he takes anshan. So he gives up all the food and water. And he goes to the second devlok, that is the Ishan devlok in the fifth bhav. So he takes anshan and he remains in anshan for 22 days without food and water. And in Subhav, he dies and goes to the second devlok, that is the Ishan devlok, that is the second Vaimanik devlok. So this is the fourth bhav of Rishabhdev Bhagwan's Jeev. So now let's see the next bhav, the fifth bhav of Rishabhdev Bhagwan. So in the fifth bhav, in the Ishan devlok, Rishabhdev Bhagwan's Jeev is born as a king of a Viman known as Sri Prabh Viman in the second devlok, that is the Ishan devlok. So here Shastra gives some of the descriptions of the people in the devlok, in the Vaimanik devlok. This is very interesting. So people in this devlok, they are born spontaneously. So they are not born through garbh, but they are born outside the garbh. So they are born spontaneously and they complete all the 6 paryaptis within 48 minutes and they become a complete adult after Antarmurat. So they become a full adult after 48 minutes. Now, all the people in the Devlok, they have got a Vaikriya Sarir. We will see what is, 5 different types of Sarir in our next classes. But they have got Vaikriya Sarir. And this Vaikriya Sarir is symmetrical and is extremely beautiful. And this Sarir our body is free of 7 elements. It's free of 7 dhatus. It's free of blood. It's free of tissues. It is free of fat, free of bone, free of marrow. So none of these 7 things are present in this body. Then this body is extremely soft, is as soft as a flower. And this body is extremely radiant. That means it's a shining. So when they are born, the whole sky is filled with the radiance. Then another thing is this body is extremely powerful and unbreakable. So no one can break this body. And all the Jeeves who are born in this Vaimanik Devlok, they have got Kshetragnya Avdignan. So they possess Avdignan. And the maximum Gnan they can possess is up till 9.5 Purvas. So Indras, like Saudhanima Indra or Ishan Indra, the maximum knowledge they can have is up till 9.5 Purvas. So, and apart from that, they have got lots of powers. They have got Akash Gamini Vidya. They have got power to change the shape and form of the body. They can grow their body extremely small or extremely big. So these are some of the descriptions of the Devlok. So Rishabhdev Bhagwan's Jeev is born as a king in one of the Vimans known as Sri Prabh Viman. So here the Shastra gives some of the descriptions of the structure of this Viman. So being a king, he has got several Devatas under his command. So there are Shamanic Devatas who are ministers to his kingdom. Then there are Parisadhya Devata who gives all types of pleasures. They conduct the sports activities, they conduct the Natak, Nritya, and all the entertainment activities. Then there are Atma Rakshak Devatas that protect the Viman, and they have got 36 different types of weapons. Then there are Lokpals. Lokpals are like city police. They take care of the law and order. Then there is Prakirnika Devata. They take care of the city, various activities and various things within the cities. Then there are Abhyogik Devatas. The Abhyogik Devatas are the one who follow the command of the king. So they complete all the wishes of the king. And lastly, we saw there are Kilbhishak Devatas who are more like servants and they do all the menial work. So this is the structure of the second Ishan Devlok, and And we saw, they have got Rajya Vyavastha, family structure, and they are known as Kalpopanna Devatas. So here, Rishabhdev's Bhagwan Jeev is, as soon as he is born, he uses his Avdignan and he recalls his former birth. He recalls his birth that he was a king Mahabal, and in the very last moment he took a unsan and did a dharma aradhana, and because of that he is born in the second Ishan Devlok. So as soon as he is born, he goes and visits all the Shaswati Pratimas in the Ishan Devlok. He does the Vandan and Chaitya Vandan at all the Shaswati Pratimas. So this is the first thing he does before even entering the palace. So after doing the Vandan at all the Derasars in the Ishan Devlok, he enters the Sri Prabh Viman. And as soon as he enters the Sri Prabh Viman, he sees a Swayam Prabha Devi. This Swayam Prabha Devi was extremely beautiful. She was more beautiful than the bed of lotus in a river. So Lalitang, his name was Lalitang. So Rishabhdev's Bhagwan Jeev, his name is Lalitang. So Lalitang falls in love with Swayam Prabha Devi immediately as he sees her, and now they spend lots of time together, and not even and they are unable to live without each other even for a single moment. But as a leaf falls from the tree, Swayamprabha Devi's Ayushya also comes to an end. Even Indra cannot remain in the Devlok forever. So no Jeev can remain in the Devlok forever. As soon as the Ayushya karma comes to an end, they have to go and take a next bhav. So here Lalitang was deeply in grief, as if he has been crushed by a mountain or struck by a lightning. He will fall unconscious, and as soon as he will regain consciousness, he will again cry and wail. The entire palace was in grief. So here, the minister Swayam Buddha, who was Mahabal's minister, he also takes diksha, and he also does dharma aradhana, and is also born in the second Ishan Devlok, and he is born as a Samanik Dev of Ishan Indra. So he is at very good position. He is a minister to the Indra himself. So he is a Shamanic Dev to the Ishan Indra, and he is known as Dhrad Dharma. So because of his affection in the previous birth, Dhrad Dharma tries to console his friend Lalitang. He says, "Hey friend, be calm. Why are you so dejected on separation of a woman? This is Artha Dhyan and Rautar Dhyan. You will probably get a more beautiful woman than Swayamprabha." Lalitang says, "Hey Mitra, whatever it may be, I only love Swayamprabha. I cannot live without her. If you want my welfare and if you want me to be good, please arrange my reunion with Swayamprabha." So here, Dhrad Dharma sees that his friend Lalitang is not going to, be good until he meets Swayamprabha. So Dhrad Dharma uses his Avdignan and locates his wife, Lalitang's wife. So in the Mahavidya Kshetra of Ghatki Kand in the Eastern Vidhe, there is a miserable householder, and his name is Nagil. This Nagil is very, very poor. He's wandering here and there to fill his stomach. He usually goes to the bed hungry and thirsty. And his wife is known as Nakshri, and Nakshri is equally unfortunate. So both this Nagil and Nakshri, they have got 6 daughters. And all of these 6 daughters are ferocious by nature. They are very bad nature, and they are ugly, and they are ridiculed by everyone in the society and the village, and everyone treats them as a pig. So in course of the time, his wife Nakshri, she gives birth to another daughter, a 7th daughter, and the 7th daughter is born. And this 7th daughter is basically the Jeev of Swayamprabha. So your wife Swayamprabha, wo Abhi, is born as a daughter of this miserable couple. So as soon as the news comes to of the 7th daughter being born comes to to Nagil, he becomes extremely upset and is tormented by the daughters, and he leaves and runs away. So in the pain of her husband departing, his wife Nakshri did not even give the name for this 7th daughter, and is known as Nirmanika. Nirmanika is basically nameless. So she does not even have a name. and she does all the menial work and to basically fill her stomach. So one day there was a festival in the village, and lots of people were eating sweets, and she also had desire to eat sweets. Nirmanika, she also had desire to eat sweets. So she asks her mother, can we please have sweets? Her mother became extremely angry and with the grinding teeth said, did your father ever eat sweets? Go and kill yourself. That's what her mother says to Nirmanika. Go and kill yourself. She becomes extremely upset listening to her mother's bad vachan, and she becomes extremely dejected, and she goes to the mountain to kill herself. So as soon as she reaches mountain to to jump from the mountain, she sees a Muni Bhagwant known as Yugmandar Muni. And this Muni Bhagwan Yugmandar Muni, he had just got a Keval Gnan. And Devta had come there to celebrate the Keval Gnan of the Yugmandar Muni. So Nirmanika does the Vandan of the Kevalgani Bhagwant. She also listens to the Deshna of the Kevalgani Bhagwant. And after that, she asks the Bhagwant, hey Bhagwant, I am the most unlucky woman in this world. I did not get love from my parents. I did not get respect from anyone, from my relatives or from my society. And I am fed up from this life and I want to kill myself. So Nirmanika asks Kevalgani Bhagwant that is there anyone in this sansar who is more in pain than me? So Yugmandar Bhagwan says, hey girl, what pain is yours? Your pain is nothing compared to the pains of other Jews. So Yugmandar Bhagwan says, in Narak, the Narki Jews, they are in unimaginable pain. Their body parts are cut apart, they are pressed in the machines, some are torn apart, some are made to sleep on the spikes, some are thrown from the mountains, rocks are thrown on them, some are bitten by iron hammers, and they experience this pain over and over and over again. And when they wish to drink something, they are given hot boiling water, and when they wish for a shade, they are made to sit under a tree, and the leaves of the tree are as sharp as swords, and these leaves fall and they pierce their bodies, and they are reminded of the previous bhav's pap over and over again. So their pain is unimaginable, so your pain is nothing. Furthermore, Yugmandar Bhagwan says, see the Tiryans Jews of water, land, and air. The sea creatures, they devour and eat the smaller sea creatures. They are caught by fishermen. They are eaten by humans. The creatures on the land, the weak creatures, they are eaten by stronger animals like deer are killed by lion. Human kills the animals just for fun, just for hunting, or even for meat. They endure the pain of hunger, thirst, heat, and excessive burdens. Similarly, the smaller birds are killed by larger carnivorous birds. The animals live in constant fear and they face a constant abuse. And even the humans are some are born blind, some are born deaf, some are born with diseases like leprosy, some are born as slaves, and some are abused by their masters. So in this endless ocean of sansar, the dharma given by Tirthankar Paramatma is the only remedy. So Yugmandar Bhagwan explains the Panch Anuvrats of Shravak. He explains the Panch Mahavrats and also explains the importance of Sadhu Jivan. So listening to this Dharma Updesh, she acquires a wonderful desire for Shaman Dharma and she takes the Panch Mahavrats. So Nirmanika, she takes the Panch Mahavrats और वहां पे उसको सम्यक दर्शन उत्पन्न होता है. And after taking the Panch Mahavrats, she immediately takes the Anshan, that is fast to death. So here, Dhrad Dharma says to Lalitang that go to her place. She is doing Anshan right now and try to induce her and try to make her fall in love with you. So here Lalitang goes to the Nirmanika and he successfully is able to induce her. So here Nirmanika dies um, and she is born as a Swayamprabha Devi. So Swayamprabha, so Nirmanika, so Swayamprabha Devi, is again born in the in the subsequent bhav again as a Swayamprabha Devi. So here Lalitang is extremely happy They spend lots of time in happiness and comfort with each other. And suddenly, Lalitang realizes that his own Ayushya karma is coming to an end. So he soon realizes that in this bhav, in this Ishan Devlok, most of his time he has spent with Swayam Prabha Devi. He has not done any much dharma aradhana. So all of a sudden he remembers his past bhav as Mahabal, where he has taken anshan, and he now realizes that he will have to fall from here. So as Swayam Buddha minister helped King Mahabal, the same friend comes to help of Lalitang. So it is important to know in this Jeevan Charitra is it's so important to have a Kalyan Mitra in your life. You know, you should have one Kalyan Mitra in your life that who can always give you right advice at the right time. So here Swayam Buddha is a Kalyan Mitra who comes to the rescue of Lalitang one more time. So here, Dharma, he says, "Hey Lalitang, the Indra of the Ishan Devlok, Ishanendra, has given you an order. He has given you an order that he wants to go to Nandishwar Dweep to do the Haryan Paramatma Puja with you. So please be ready for puja with the Indra of the Ishan Devlok." So hearing this news, he becomes extremely happy. He says that this order has come at a very right time. So he and his wife, they are extremely happy, and in Subh Bhav they set a course for Nandiswar Dweep to do the puja of Tirthankar Paramatma. And while he is on his way to do the puja is in Subh Bhav, he is constantly thinking about the puja of Tirthankar Paramatma. And while he is on his way, uska Ayushya karma khatam ho jata hai. And then he dies in the Subh Bhav at the right time. And in the next Bhav, he is born as a VAJRAJHANGH, son of Swayam Jang and Queen Lakshmi in the Eastern Videh. So this is the sixth Bhav. So I think we will end here with the fifth Bhav, and then next time we will take the sixth Bhav of Rishabhdev Bhagwan. Okay. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions.
So I have a question. Um, so like, um, wait. So that like, thing that so it's like the Devlok, the Nuraks, and then like the Manisha. So like, where does Simandar Swami Bhagwan live? Like?
Simandar Swami, where does Simandar Swami Bhagwan live?
Yeah. So basically, where is Mahadev Kshetra?
So Mahavidya Kshetra is in the Madhya Lok. So all the 15 karma bhumis that are 5 Bharat Kshetra, 5 Airavat and 5 Mahavidya Kshetras, they are all in the Madhya Lok. So all the Tirthankar Paramatma, they are all in Madhya Lok. They can only be born in the Madhya Lok.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, like, you tell me that we can only just go to the Ishan, like,
The fourth Devlok.
yeah, we just only go to Ishan, like Mahavidya one, not other ones. Why do we not go to just only still fourth one,
Yeah,
not other ones?
Yeah, so from this fifth tara, we can only go to the fourth devlok. And there are, the basic reason is we cannot do punya karma that much that we can go to the fifth devlok. Our body type and our mindset, our mind is not as strong to do much higher punya karma. And that's why we are limited to only the fourth devlok.
So when we like in like Utsarpini, like Avsarpini will be ended in after sixth tara. So um the Utsarpini's fourth tara, then we will get back our
Yes.
like knowledge of Buddhism.
Yeah, that's true. So after this fifth tara, there'll be sixth tara, and after sixth tara, there'll be another sixth tara, and after that, there'll be fifth tara, and after that, there'll be fourth tara. And in this fourth tara, the gateways will open for the entire Chaudrajlok. So there,
So
there'll
then
be
go to
Tirthankar Paramat. Yeah,
then we can go to every Devloks.
yeah, you can even go to Moksha directly from the fourth tara.
Okay.
Chetal Chachu, if Devta has a body, does it get hurt or have like diseases?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, Devta also has got the Satavednya and Asatavednya karmas, so they do feel pain.
Thank you.
How much like time does they like? How much time they have to live? I mean,
For Devtas,
one Ayushya and then
yeah,
for
Devtas,
the
yeah, the Ayushya is very large. So as we saw, the Rishabhdev Bhagwan's Jeev in the first Devlok had 2 Sagropam Ayushya. So they have got a very large Ayushya. They live in the
how
Devlok.
do you know like your Ayushya is finished? I mean,
So Devta, they know because they have Avdignan. We do not know, but Devta, they can come to know that their Ayushya is coming to an end. So because of their Avdignan, they can see their Ayushya is going to come to an end.
okay. And how does like a Devata has Avdijan automatically when his birth is happens?
Right. So all the Devtas, regardless of Devta in the Vaimanik Devlok, even the Devtas in the Adholok, or Madhya Lok, all the Devtas have got Kshetrajna Avdignan. So by the birth itself, they get Avdignan.
Mm.
Any more questions?
So Chetal bhai, because Devta have one more like Avdhi Gyan, and like they have one Gyan more than Manusha. Why is it that only through Manusha you get moksha, and why you don't get moksha through Dev?
So
So
मोक्ष, yeah, that's a very good question. So मोक्ष के लिए virti dharma चाहिए. So you need to achieve the sixth gunasthanak to achieve moksha, and without virti you cannot achieve moksha. So in devta they cannot do the virti dharma. So
Virti Dharma means
virti dharma मतलब त्याग धर्म. मतलब देवता में they cannot do त्याग. मतलब for example, their body they cannot do तप. उनको भूख ही नहीं लगती तो तप क्या करेंगे? तो देर इज नो पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ डूइंग तप, देर इज नो पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ डूइंग एनी त्याग. वहां पे वो वीरती धर्म है नहीं, दे कैन नॉट टेक दीक्षा. तो दे द मैक्सिमम दे कैन गो इज द फोर्थ गुणस्थानक इन द देवलोक. उसके बाद दे कैन नॉट इवन गो टू फिफ्थ गुणस्थानक और द सिक्स गुणस्थानक. द मैक्सिमम इज फोर्थ गुणस्थानक. So that's why Virti Dharma is so much important, and only in Manushya Bhav you can do the Virti Dharma. So even the Indra, right, in this very good question. So when Indra, right, when he is sitting in the assembly hall, when he calls a meeting, वो पहले वीरतीधर को प्रणाम करता है. इंद्र स्वयं पहले बैठने से पहले, इवन बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द मीटिंग, वो सभी वीरतीधर को प्रणाम करके वो अपनी मीटिंग स्टार्ट करते हैं. दिस शोज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ वीरती धर्म एंड द साधु जीवन. तो दैट इज अ होल रीजन व्हाई यू कैन गो टू मोक्ष फ्रॉम देवलोक.
I have relish. What is like you say fourth and fifth? What is like that mean?
That is a level of atmas. It goes from 1 to 14. So higher the level, the more the more progress you have made in your atma. So
Okay.
fourth is the maximum they can achieve in the devlok. In manushya bhav we can go all the way to 14.
How?
So in manushya you can take diksha, and that is a marg, and from diksha you can move up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, can you go like can only monks go to moksha or everybody could?
Uh, Mostly the people who have taken diksha, they go to moksha. Without taking diksha, you cannot go above the fourth gunastanak or the fifth gunastanak. You can go maximum up till fifth gunastanak. So to go higher, you have to take diksha.
Why do you have to take diksha and to attain moksha? I mean,
Because in diksha only you can live things, right? You can live the sansar. So you are living your attachment to the sansar, and that is a way you can go higher.
चेतल भाई, माता मरु देवी का कैसा था फिर? वो कैसे मोक्ष में ऐसे ही चले गए थे, राइट?
या वो अपवाद है, या वो अपवाद है. जनरली यू हैव टू फॉलो द राजमार्ग, and out of, like, you can say infinite Jeeves, probably one Jeev might be like Marudevi Mata or even Bharat Chakravarti, कि वो लोग दीक्षा के बिना और इवन तीर्थंकर परमात्मा के शासन के बिना, उनके योग के बिना मोक्ष चले गए. वो अपवाद है. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है अपवाद मार्ग से कि अपना खुद का भाव और वो सब वो उत्कृष्ट भाव होता है और वो शपथ श्रेणी मानता है.
ओके, तो ये एक्सेप्शन है, राइट? ऐसा अपवाद यानी एक्सेप्शन. ओके,
एक्सेप्शन, या. सो मरुदेवी माता इज एन एक्सेप्शन. वो तो डायरेक्ट एकेंद्रिय से आए थे. She directly came from ekindriya to manushya bhav and from manushya bhav to moksha. So that is very rare. That is not the mark for us, क्योंकि वो अपवाद है. So even Bharat Chakravarti is also a little bit of अपवाद, क्योंकि वो संसारी थे और संसारी जीव में उन्होंने मोक्ष पाया. So it is also a little bit of अपवाद. पर main marg is you take sadhu जीवन and then you go achieve 6th gunasthanak and then you achieve 7th and then वहां से फिर शपथ श्रेणी मांडो और फिर you can gain मोक्ष.
Okay, thank you so much.
ચૈતલ ભાઈ, તમે બધા ગુણસ્થાનક કીધા, સોરી, તમે બધા દેવલોક્સ કીધા, રાઈટ? ફર્સ્ટ, સેકન્ડ, થર્ડ, ફોર્થ, ફિફ્થ. સો એમાં the, like, how is the first Devlok different than the second or the third? Is the number of pleasures increasing, or એવું કઈ હોય છે કે equal જ હોય છે બધા દેવલોકમાં?
ના, you are right. એમાં સુખ is increasing. So second Devlok માં first Devlok કરતા વધારે સુખ, and so on and so forth. So the maximum સુખ એ 5 અનુત્તરમાં હોય છે. તો 5 અનુત્તરમાં સૌથી મેક્સિમમ સુખ, એના પછી 9 ગ્રેવિયક્સ, એના પછી 12 દેવલોક્સ. હવે 5 અનુત્તરમાં જે છે, મતલબ what type of સુખ is in 5 અનુત્તર? તો 5 અનુત્તરમાં all the atmas, they are completely in their atmanubhuti. All these atmas who are going to 5 anuttar viman, they are going to achieve moksha in the next bhav. So, and they are all Kalpati Devatas. That means they do not have any kind of relationship with any other Devatas. They are not talking with anyone. They do not have any type of political or family system. They are in constant dhyan avastha, and they are in constant atmanubhuti. तो वहाँ का सुख उत्कृष्ट सुख है, परम सुख है. मतलब at this point we cannot understand उनका सुख, but जो उनका सुख है, it's considered the सबसे संसार में सबसे मैक्सिमम सुख उनको है 5 अनुत्तर को. फिर उसके बाद 9 ग्रेवियक्स, और उसके बाद वो सुख कम होते होते जाता है. और फिर इवन द सांसारिक प्लेजर्स, इवन द आयुष्य, एवरीथिंग कीप्स डिक्रीजिंग. एंड सबसे कम सुख in the ऊर्ध्वलोक is the first वैमानिक देवलोक.
तो भैया, जब भी ये देवता लोग उधर धर्म क्रिया या जो भी करते हैं, वो क्या मांगते हैं? वो मोक्ष ही मांगते हैं, वो पता है, पर वो कौन सी गति मांगते हैं? मनुष्य गति मांगते हैं फिर उधर रह के, क्योंकि दे वांट टू, है ना?
डेफिनेटली वो लोग जनरली ऐसा मांगते हैं. मतलब मैं तुमको बताता हूँ, ये काफी अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. ये जब इंद्र जब भगवान का अभिषेक करके आते हैं वापस, तो उनको, जब इंद्र को, हमारे शास्त्र में आता है, जब भगवान तीर्थंकर परमात्मा का अभिषेक करके मेरू पर्वत में वो सब उनका फेस्टिवल सब कुछ करके जब वापस आते हैं ना, इंद्र काफी सालों तक दुखी होते हैं. वो उनको लगता है कि अब भगवान के अभिषेक में जो मेरे को आनंद आया, वो ये मेरे को देवलोक में आनंद किसी से भी मिल नहीं रहा है. मतलब ही बिकेम सो मच डिप्रेस्ड. और सभी इंद्र का ऐसा होता है. एक बार भगवान का अभिषेक खत्म हो तो सालों तक ही बिकम्स डिप्रेस्ड, क्योंकि उनको पता है कि भगवान के अभिषेक में जो आनंद है, वो यहाँ पे कोई भी संसारिक प्लेजर्स में वो आनंद नहीं है. मतलब वो लोग समझते हैं कि अल्टीमेटली तो ये सब सुख, वो सब टेम्पररी सुख है, इसमें कोई आनंद नहीं है. आनंद तो भगवान के अभिषेक में, भगवान की पूजा के है. तो उनका जनरली थिंकिंग क्या होता है कि दूसरे भाव में मेरे को तीर्थंकर का योग मिले, मेरे को महाविद्य क्षेत्र में जन्म मिले, और या फिर जहाँ पे भी तीर्थंकर परमात्मा हो वहाँ पे जन्म मिले, और वहाँ पे वो दीक्षा ग्रहण करके मोक्ष में जाए. तो ऐसे देवता का होता है, पर नॉट सभी देवता. अभी सभी देवता समकित देवता नहीं होते हैं. काफी देवता मिथ्यात्वी देवता भी होते हैं जो धर्म को भी मानते नहीं है. तो वहाँ पे दोनों टाइप्स के देवता होते हैं, पर इंद्र जो होते हैं वो सम्यक्त्व देवता होते हैं, जो लोकांतिक देवतास होते हैं, 5 अनुत्तर के देवतास होते हैं, और काफी सारे देवतास वो सम्यक दृष्टि होते हैं और उनकी इच्छा वो होती है। पर जो मिथ्या दृष्टि होते हैं वो तो सुख में ही होते हैं, और वो मर के फिर उनका दुर्गति होता है, उनको तो मनुष्य भाव भी नहीं मिलता है, दे गो टू तिर्यंच भाव। तो मोस्ट ऑफ देवता मिथ्यात्वी देवता होते हैं, ओनली सम देवतास आर सम्यक दृष्टि, और मिथ्या दृष्टि देवता, दे मोस्ट ऑफ द देवतास दे आर born as तिर्यंच, और सम ऑफ द देवतास दे आर ऑल्सो born as एकेंद्रिय, मतलब देवता से यू कैन ऑल्सो गो टू एकेंद्रिय। एंड सम देवतास वो भोग विलास में इतना डूब जाते हैं, जैसे पानी, राइट, वो पानी के स्विमिंग और वो सब में अगर उनका आयुष्य कर्म का बंद हो तो उनको अपकाय का आयुष्य कर्म का बंद होता है। तो दे कैन इवन गो टू एकेंद्रिय डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द देवलोक। तो वहाँ पे भी संभालना पड़ता है, वहाँ पे इतना भोग और विलास होता है कि इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू डू धर्म। ओनली सम्यक दृष्टि आत्मा वो लोग धर्म करते हैं, बाकी सब देवता इतना धर्म नहीं करते।
अच्छा, तो यानी सभी मनुष्य जन्म को ही मांगते हैं, वैसा है
या
राइट।
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yeah.
So like Indra's change, or Indra Indra's one, or Indra's change, I mean.
No, change. All the देवता change. उनका आयुष्य खत्म होता है तब दूसरा इंद्र आता है. Someone else will take the birth to fill the position. So they keep on changing.
Oh, okay.
I have a
भैया लास्ट,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So my question is like, why can't
So
they
do,
take
is
diksha?
it
Can you repeat that again?
So my question is that like, why can't they take diksha? I mean,
Yeah, because दीक्षा के लिए मनुष्य भाव चाहिए. You need औदारिक शरीर. तो देवता cannot do, they do not have त्याग धर्म. So उनका बॉडी नहीं है. वैक्रिय शरीर में you cannot do any त्याग. Like in वैक्रिय शरीर you can go hungry for years and years without eating anything. तुमको भूख भी नहीं लगेगी. That means you cannot even, तुम कुछ छोड़ भी नहीं सकते. छोड़ने की इच्छा हो फिर भी नहीं छोड़ सकते. तो you cannot do the त्याग धर्म.
oh,
So only मनुष्य you can take दीक्षा.
भैया और एक क्वेश्चन, तो
हाँ.
फिर अगर देवताओं को भी पेन होता है, सब कुछ होता है, राइट, वो भी उनको भी होता है, तो हम जब भी मांगते हैं, राइट, हम लाइक मैं भी मांगती हूँ, देवताओं के पास मांगती हूँ, भगवान के पास नहीं मांगती, पर तो वो दे सकते हैं, यानी वो सच है, राइट, कि
या
जबकि उनको भी दर्द होता है, तो वो हाउ दे हेल्प अस, लाइक
ना they have got lots of powers. उनके पास काफी शक्तियां होती है, and they come and help the जो भी उनके आराधक है, भक्त है, उनको they come and help.
पर वो खुद को हेल्प नहीं कर सकते वैसा, जबकि उनको जब दर्द या जो कुछ
सभी अपने अपने कर्म से बंधे हुए हैं, राइट. एवरीवेयर, इवन देवलोक में भी वॉर्स होते हैं. इट्स नॉट लाइक जस्ट अर्थ और भरत क्षेत्र, मतलब देयर आर वॉर्स, एंड लॉट्स ऑफ पीपल का आयुष्य कर्म वहां पे खत्म हो जाता है, इवन देवता का. सो एवरीथिंग हैपेंस इन देवलोक.
अच्छा,
इसलिए तो आर्मी होते हैं ना, इसलिए अंगरक्षक देवता, देयर आर सो मच थिंग्स इन देवलोक. इट्स लाइक अर्थ. ओनली थिंग वहां पे सुख काफी हाई होता है, और उनका शरीर अलग होता है, वैक्रिय शरीर होता है.
તો ચેતલભાઈ, આપણે આપણા જે દેવ દેવીઓ આપણે ગણીએ દેરાસરમાં, લાઈક સરસ્વતી દેવી છે, પદ્માવતી દેવી છે, એ બધા લાઈક દેવલોકમાં હશે, તો is Padmavati Devi one person or keeps changing?
No, now જો આપણે છે ને, મતલબ we have to not to confuse. આ જે પદ્માવતી દેવી છે, ધર્મેન્દ્ર દેવતા છે, they are not વૈમાનિક દેવ્સ. They are all ભુવનપતિ દેવતાસ અને વ્યંતર દેવતાસ. So this all devatas, Manibhadra, Veer se leke, all the devatas are Bhuvanpati devatas. So all the devatas in the 1st to 12th devlok, they are Vaimanic devatas. Now again, our concept is same everywhere. और पद्मावती देवी, उनका आयुष्य खत्म होता है तो उनके प्लेस में कोई और जन्म लेता है. तो एवरीवेयर उनका आयुष्य खत्म होता है, एंड दैट प्लेस इज फिल्ड बाय समवन एल्स. तो बट दिस आर ऑल, जो भी अपने देरासर में जो भी देव देवता है, दे आर ऑल भुवनपतिस.
a question.
Yeah.
So, is the generation of gods and goddesses gonna keep long, or is it gonna gradually get extinct?
No, it will go on forever. The sansar is forever, right? So it is just a time cycle. So वो constant, it will be for infinite time. It was there before infinite time, and it will continue for infinite time. There is no end.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When Earth will not be like there anymore, still the dharma will continue.
So the dharma will continue only in the fifth ara. The sixth ara, there won't be any dharma.
No, I'm not saying like that. But after the dharti just blasted, after Earth blast, there will be dharma. I mean,
No, so at the end of sixth ara, the lots of populations will be destroyed on the earth, and then, but again the cycle will continue. Again it will heal itself, and again the new cycle will begin. But there is end and beginning at the end of sixth ara.
so in the sixth tara, there will be like so much like pain like in Earth. I mean,
Yeah, in sixth ara there will be no dharma, right? So all the people will be non-vegetarians, and they will be killing each other. So it will be very bad in the sixth ara.
Is the earth gonna explode, or is it gonna stay
No,
as
Earth,
is?
no, Earth will be staying, but the population will die. So
How will the population die?
it's a natural event. So any of the natural event, the population will, there will be the end, and there will be again a new beginning. So it will be any of the natural events, like global warming, right? In the sixth era, there will be, the temperatures will be so high, and temperature will continue to rise, that no life can survive. So that might be one of the reasons where, the people will start dying, and the animals and everyone will start dying.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, will humanity last forever, or will soon, whenever the temperature rises over time, will there be no more trees and no more oxygen and no more nothing?
That's true. That's true. But it will take lots of time. We still have another 18,000 years before the sixth era will begin. But when the sixth era will begin, the plant life will come to an end. There won't be trees. It will be only be the sea animals and all those stuff. So people will be mostly be hunting and eating fish. Okay. Any more questions from anyone?
No.
Okay. So I think we can conclude the session, and we can say one Nokar mantra. Okay. Namo Ariyantaram, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vajjayanam, Namo Loe Sabva Sahunam, Eso Panchana Mukaro, Sabva Pava Parasano, Manglancha Savesim, Paramam Hoy Mangalam, Jinagna Virud Bulaya, Michhamidukam. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chaital bhai.
Thank you, Chetal bhai.
Jai Jinendra.
thank you, Chaitanya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.